suckers. I want you to listen to this, air quotes, hot take. Check this out and watch your blood boil.
There's an influx of people who are quitting their jobs because they realize that they no longer want to work. And I love that for us. I'm a part of that. I quit my job because I don't want to work anymore. But then there are people who are like, yeah, quit your job and then start your own business. And I'm like, baby, you're not getting it. I don't want to work. I don't want to work, period. I don't want to work for you. I don't want to work for me. I don't want to work for anyone. Like, working, it's working is the issue. It's not who you work for. It's working. Why do we work? Why do we need money? Money is such a middleman. You just use money to get stuff. Why can't we just get the stuff? I don't want to have a business because I don't want to charge people for anything. Because to me, that like defeats the purpose of trying to get away from the capitalist thing. I don't want to charge people who don't already have money. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would I do that? It's almost evil. I get it. Follow. If you want to start a business and that's your dream, do that. It's just not mine. So please don't try to make
Yeah. Does this guy not realize that the stuff he wants to give away for free is made by someone who worked? I'm just asking you a question. Like, how does he think this pen, this phone, the gavel on my desk, how does he think these things just popped into existence? The gavel, phone, pen fairy? How does he think that happened, went down? Now, again, I don't even know if this guy's being sincere or not, but I saw this this weekend, and it was quite infuriating. It reminded me again, I have a speech coming up. I rarely give public speeches, maybe 2 or 3 a year tops. But I keep thinking to myself, what do I want to talk about? And I can't emphasize this enough. I said it on Friday on my radio show, and I'm going to talk about it again today. Ladies and gentlemen, the dignity of work. If it is not a bedrock message of our conservative movement, then we are not conserving anything. We are about work. Now, if we can't say to the left in no uncertain terms that we are the party of work, we do not represent sitting on your ass. And if you're going to sit on your ass, then yes, vote Democrat because we are not your guy. Then our party's worthless. There are few things more. I would argue that only life and the right to self-protection are more important than the conservative movement emphasizing the dignity, the human dignity of work, the ability to go and manipulate the environment to advance human prosperity, to feed people, to make sure people aren't thirsty, to make sure they're healthy, to make sure they have a roof over their head. The people who worked to build that, the truckers who transported it, the carpenters who built the homes, the farmers who produced the food, the absolute human dignity of work. If we can't talk about this proudly with our chest out and our chin held high, then there is no purpose for this conservative movement at all. It's a complete, total waste of our time. The dignity of work has primacy in our movement. It must, again, outside of life and the ability to protect yourself. I can't think of something more important we should conserve in conservatism than the idea that there is dignity in work. And ladies and gentlemen, there is dignity in all work. All work. I know leftists laugh at people who have to clean toilet bowls and mop floors and dust shelves. I know they laugh at that. I know they look down on the people when they walk by in the supermarket and you see that 18-year-old kid mopping the floor as the store is closing. I know you walk right over where he mopped, and sometimes you leftists do it on purpose and you walk back and smirk because you think like this man at least alleges. Again, I don't even know if he's kidding or not, but people are listening to this stuff. That what, work is for losers? Work is for suckers? Let me tell you something. And I mean every single word of this. I have more respect for that kid mopping that floor in that supermarket late at night than I will ever have for a PhD liberal loser in sociology lecturing people about the evils of white oppression. That kid is 1,000 times a human being you'll ever be. I told you about that line often I think about from that movie 7 Days in Entebbe, the hijackers. They hijack this plane. They keep all the hostages in an airport hangar in Entebbe. And the plumbing backs up, and the pilot luckily has some experience in plumbing. And one of these terrorist revolutionaries is looking at him in disgrace as he fixes the plumbing system so people can use the bathroom. And the pilot looks up and says, "One plumber is worth 100 revolutionaries." I'd argue one plumber is worth 10,000 revolutionaries. Folks, there's dignity in work. If we can't conserve that, we're not worth conserving. I want you to pay attention to this. It's going to be the last in my show notes today, my newsletter, bongino.com/newsletter if you'd like to access it. This was a legend in our time. God rest his soul. One of the greatest human beings who's ever lived. I have no, listen, Pope John Paul. You don't have to be a Catholic to respect the genius of Pope John Paul and the intellect. Few people did more to crush the indignity of socialism, communism, and fascism than Pope John Paul. He spoke out often about things like the dignity of work. I want you to read this. It'll be the last link. You can read the entire thing. I'm Laborum Exercens, if you'd like to read it. But this is the takeaway quote on the dignity of going to work. He says, and I quote, "It is not only good in the sense that it's useful or something to enjoy," speaking about work. "It is also good as being something worthy. That is to say, something that corresponds to man's dignity, that expresses his dignity and increases it. If one wishes to define more clearly the ethical meaning of work, it is this truth that one must particularly keep in mind." Last sentence. Work is a good thing for man, a good thing for his humanity, because through work, man not only transforms nature, adopting it to his needs, but he also achieves fulfillment as a human being, and indeed, in a sense, becomes more a human being. The man was a genius, Pope John Paul. On the dignity of work, of going to work to feed yourself and your family and to feed others and produce shelter for them, and as a doctor to save people's lives, and as a pilot to get people from A to B so they can conduct their business across this vast, expansive globe, to the trucker. I will never forget filling in early in the morning, WMAL, a station we're on now, with our new radio show. I would fill in the morning show, be on the road at 3 o'clock in the morning, get ready to go in there. I'd see these truckers on the side of the road, lined up on I-95 sleeping. How do you think those products, how does this guy in the beginning think those products that he wants to give away got to him? A trucker did that. What do you think happened? The tooth fairy dropped him off? Someone did that. Someone built it, handed it off to a trucker who delivered it. We have to be the party of work. The lack of work is the greatest contributor to income inequality in the entire globe, bar none. Awful governing systems that incentivize people to not work is the single greatest cause of income inequality on planet Earth today.